Alright, what's going on, guys? Today, I'm going to show you how to change your oil pan on your LS swap. This is an actual swap for a 1970 Nova. So, sit back, watch, and learn from the master at Glenn Retro Mod.
Hell, maybe we'll learn something too.
This might be true. So, this is a 6.0 LQ4, taken from a 2005 Chevy Tahoe. So, what I done to the engine, pretty much new force pistons, new force rods. Only thing I did not change are the rockers, which were in good. This engine was pretty much good to go. I didn't really have to do a rebuild, but I want to push some power between like 5. If I can get 5, I'm good. If I can get 4 high 4s, I'm good with that as well. So make sure to like, share, subscribe, and you know the motto, always stay building.
Well, right now I'm trying to take out the oil pickup tube because we have to change that over, obviously, so we're going with the shorter pan. And it's actually a pretty pan. Painted black already. It's so pretty. Let's take this monster apart and see what we got. Whatever you do, don't set anything on this windage tray, because if you bump the engine, it will fall into the engine. And then you got issues.
You heard them.
Nobody needs that problem this far into the build. I was getting ready to do it myself. Don't be afraid to tear into them, guys. Worst thing you do is mess them up, then you gotta do it again. But that's the fun of it, right?
Definitely.
Okay.
Ooh, the new shiny.
Ooh, I gotta put the gasket on. Check, double check everything. 5,000 times. Okay. Put that under temporarily. Get my bolt. Stick that in the hole.
And what is the metal tool called?
It's an oil pickup. This is what actually takes the oil off the bottom of the pan, sends it to the pump, and the pump circulates it through the engine. You got a little screen in here that hopefully catches the metal chunks. Hopefully there aren't any metal chunks in the engine, but we all know how stuff happens. And definitely be careful on your break-ins on these new engines, guys. You don't want to have to do it again. Spending $4,000 once is $4,000 too much.
Say it again.
Preach to the choir. But you got to do what you got to do, unfortunately. And if you want to play, you got to pay.
That's what they say.
Yeah, that's what they keep telling me. Have everything set up on a table so you're not working on your knees, and because if you're like me, you're going to get winded and tired, and it just doesn't make it that much fun anymore. Okay. It's definitely easier to work on stuff if you have it up high. As you can see, we don't go by that rule here. But I am short, so it's okay. This is a secondary windage tray that's going to keep the oil down in the sump when you start driving crazy, to keep it around the oil pickup tube so that it can pick up the oil instead of sucking air. Engines don't run very well when they're pumping air through them as oil. All right, guys, we figured out what we had to do, and we had to Google it, to be honest with you. And don't be afraid to use Google when you're working on this stuff. Somebody out there has already done it and already messed up, so you can learn from their experiences, good and bad. Turns out we have to modify the windage tray so that we can put the pickup tube in so it's where it's supposed to be at. What we're going to do is we're going to trim off a little bit of it, actually not quite a bit, but enough of it where it's going to make it interesting. We'll try to do a nice job on it because it's kind of what we do. It doesn't have to be trimmed all the way up down the side here, but it will have to be trimmed. I can't get my marker in there, it's too fat. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut around this nut, come down this yellow line here to right where about the middle of the transition in the pipe here, so that we make sure we have enough room so that we can set it down. After we get it cut, we'll be able to put everything together and be back where we're supposed to be at. And I did incorrectly misidentify this piece that I put into the oil pan. It's not a windage tray, it's actually they're calling it a baffle, which is going to it's still going to keep the oil down in the sump so that the pickup tube can pick it up when you're going through the curves, or if you're going super fast and your front end's up in the air or whatever. So make sure you put that on there. Make sure you get all your bolts tight, because you don't want these things falling off and start bouncing around inside your engine, or again, you're going to be rebuilding it again. The only other secret I can think of, and I'm not trying to be an ass here, is when you send your engine out to the engine builder, have everything that you're going to need ready to go, so that you don't have to do it when it comes back. And it's nothing against anybody. It's just one of those things. As you can see, I can speak from experience about being prepared. I'm not. So whatever you can do to make it easier, if you don't have to get your engine back and tear it apart after you get it built, fantastic, right? Just take it, stick it in, and make vroom vroom noises. But right now we're going to take this tray off. We're going to cut it. We'll be back in probably about 5 or 10 minutes, and we'll see what happens, because I'm sure Reggie's going to yell at me. So.
We got Mercy on that mix, man.
Okay, we had to do a little research on this windage tray. It needs some modifications. What we did is we just cut out the offending piece because it was keeping the oil pan from sitting down flush on the rails on the block. You could, if you want, just cut off the whole front piece of it, but we decided to do this so that we would have the extra bolts to hold down the windage tray, so we wouldn't have an issue. Not that something would happen, but it could happen, and my luck, it would happen, and then I'd be building a motor. I don't want that. So I think I actually might take it back to the table and actually cut off maybe the first 5 inches and just have it so we have these studs, because we don't have any studs up front. The engine builder put a short bolt in the front cradle for the crank, and then we cut off the tab for this stud. So I think I am going to just take it back and cut it like here and there, and it'll be, nobody's ever going to see it, but I'll know that there's not like loose metal just flapping around in there. So give me 5 more minutes, guys. We'll get this back together. I did put the oil pan on after we did this modification, and it fits perfectly. Plus, by the time we put the gasket on there, it's going to be sweet. We know that the oil pickup tube is going to fit because I'm actually going to take off a little bit more of the offending metal here. So when I get back from these 2 cuts, we should be good to go to put it in and leave it in.
Back.
Okay. All right, guys. When you do this stuff, you're going to make mistakes. Don't be afraid to make the mistakes. It's the best way you're going to learn. You can't learn from doing everything perfectly the first time. Sometimes you have to go in and mess it up so you learn for the next time how not to do it. When I took it back to the cutting table, I actually cut it in a spot where I didn't want to. I wanted to leave this long so that I could have these 2 studs. As you can see, brain fart, it happens when you get old. I didn't do it. So we have 2 extra studs that are just going to be kind of hanging in the wind. I don't want to take them out because they might be all threaded all the way down into the block. I don't want to mess with them, so we're just going to leave them in there. But like I said, when you guys are building these cars, you are going to make mistakes. Not everything is going to go perfectly according to plan the first time. It may take you 2 or 3 or 4 or 6 times to get it right. And you know what? Every time that you do it, you're going to get better at it. If you make mistakes, don't panic. There's always a way to fix it. If you can't fix it, find somebody to give you a hand and help you with it. Don't worry about it. Don't be embarrassed. Stuff happens, man. Nobody knows all the secrets to all of these cars yet. Another dog hair. So now we know for sure that the oil pan is going to clear, so we ain't got to worry about that. So I'm going to tighten down these nuts. We're going to throw the gasket up here and drop the pan on it. No. See, I made a mistake right there. We got to put the oil pickup tube in first before we put the pan on. So don't worry about saying stupid stuff or doing stupid stuff. You're human. You're going to make mistakes. When in doubt, Google it. And even then, you're still going to not do it right. Because what happens if you get that one guy that don't know what he's doing? Because nobody verifies this stuff on Google. So you didn't think about that, did you? Nobody checks everybody's work before they allow it to go on YouTube or Google or any of these other sites. So kind of take everything you see with a grain of salt. Take it as a guideline. But if you can, definitely have the manual out. If you can, have the book out that says how to modify these engines to go into certain cars. They are out there. I think Argus Books produces them or publishes them. You can usually get them at speed shops or online. But whatever reference material you can have, it's not going to make you look foolish. It's going to make you look smart, because then that way, if something does go wrong, you can go back and figure out what went wrong and how to fix it. So don't be afraid of these things. Don't let them intimidate you. By all means, do what you want to do to them. Have fun with them. They're cars. They're here for our pleasure. Do to them whatever you feel like. Build the car for the way you want it. Who cares if the guy next door to you doesn't like it or not? It's not his car. Don't worry about it. Maybe you'll start a new trend. Who knows? These trends have got to start somewhere. Why not with you? I should probably talking to you guys, I put a nut on that I shouldn't have put on yet. Mistake. I keep proving my point, right, guys? No, I'm not an idiot. I'm just working too fast, trying to get this video done and Trying to get Reggie so he can go home to his lovely wife and his family. And that will happen here shortly, but we got to get this done first, so we're going to get this knocked out. Get all the little wipe down real quick, just 'cause. Okay. I'm going to have to wander off again for a minute. I'm going to have to get the tool for the bolts that go into the pickup tube there. I think those are the those little black ones that I dropped in the oil pickup earlier. Hey. Okay, we got to put the oil pan back together again. This is the easy part. We're just going to put this baffle in again. And then we're going to tear open the bag for the bolts so we can bolt the pan on. And I think we're going to flip it over to do the intake. I'm not sure. We'll have to see how that goes. We got to find the intake bolts. Reggie's like, I'm not looking for another goddamn bolt. I don't care what you say. That ain't the right size. All right. Well, sometimes they're not that easy.
Ooh, that looks sexy.
It doesn't match the engine though.
No, it looks gray now.
Yeah.
I mean, well, kind of like the thing. That's how the color of the car is gonna look.
Yeah, that's what we did. We intentionally got a gray oil pan to match the paint job on the outside of the car.
That no one's gonna see.
Except for the oil change guy.
He's gonna be like, man, I admire that. Minor details.
Yeah.
Just the details that
The
count.
devil's in the details, man. The devil's in the details.
Who would have thought of that?
Gotta think outside the box. Now for the fun part. They should all be the same size. That doesn't mean that they are. Here's the boring part, guys. Trying to bolt it down. Emphasis on trying. We got different. No, we don't have different size bolts like the stock one did. Oh boy! Shut up.
does actually look sexy.
It's getting sexier every minute.
Oh yeah. That's motor porn for you.
That's a new fetish. Never heard of that one before. That one's not listed on my site. Okay. Come on. What do you mean you don't fit?
These were different bolts. Watch them. So remember, if you put them down there, you gotta watch them.
Next weekend, guys, I promise the video is going to be a little bit more fun because I believe if everything goes right, motor and trans are going to go in for mock-up, and that means the subframe's going in and all kinds of fun stuff. New trans cross member. Suspension won't be going on yet because it's not ready.
Possibility it might be, hopefully.
Well, I still got to take it to the powder coater, so.
Oh, you talking about the
Control
arms?
Yeah.
We got Mercy on that mix, man.
Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. I'm going to show you what we did, the finishing product of the 6.0 for Medusa the Nova. Like I said, make sure you like, share, subscribe. I didn't film us like button up the oil pan because, like I said, that's kind of like boring. If you don't know how to load up an oil pan, then I don't know what to tell you. But I'm gonna show you some B-roll footage of what we did to the engine, and it's almost complete. I got a few accessories that I have to put on there, and then next week, hopefully, we get to put the engine in the Nova. We're getting close, guys. We are getting close. I want to thank Glenn. You know, make sure, you know what I'm saying, if you didn't watch the last video, watch it. I'm going to also put his information in here We got some new stuff coming for the shop, hopefully, you know, in the works. So stay tuned. Till next time, remember the motto, stay building. You got something to say? Kim?
Yeah. Guys, if you like what you see, comment and like, and let us know and let your friends know. If you see something you don't like, comment to us so we can go in and we can fix it or maybe explain why it went the way it went. So let us know one way or the other. If you like it, great. If you don't like it, let us know. Maybe we can change it up. Maybe we can fix it. Maybe we can clean it up a little bit more. Maybe we can change the format. Who knows? But we'll do whatever it takes to get more people onto this channel so that we can get rocking and rolling. So be good. And like Reggie says, keep building.